All right, so we're back again. This is Ryan Gutierrez, a.k.a. Gootecks, here with the second episode of the Denjin video podcast. I'm here today with my guest, Yi Wang, a.k.a. 5-Star, a.k.a. Kobe Bryant. Yi is obviously one of the best Ken players in the country, hands down, and will be competing next weekend at Family Fun Arcade in the West Coast SBO Quals, which coincidentally we are raising money for. Hello, Yi.
How are you guys doing? It's my second time on the show.
Well, this is the first time on this show.
That's
second
correct.
time
in this room doing
a
same
podcast, because the last time was with John D.
Yes.
With the Ask Dr. Sub-Zero show. So, we're trying to raise money and for SBO plane tickets for the winning teams, which consist of me, K.O. Fiend, and Justin Wong for the East Coast / Midwest team, and also for the West Coast team, which is yet to be decided. Because this year plane tickets aren't covered, so we're trying to give back to the community and try to help level up some players, because part of the way that we got good was because we had a strong scene here. We're lucky to live here, but other people aren't so lucky, and we're trying to help them. So that sounds like you guys. This is for you. So Yi, let's talk a little bit about SBO. This year you're going to be playing. And last year, it was you and Vic and Amir, and it was you guys versus Pyro, Kenai, and Ricky. Tell me about last year.
Last year was pretty heartbreaking. I was pretty sad about it for a week. Actually, I relived the images of almost coming back and winning the match against Pyro in winners finals, because I was pretty confident if we won that match in winners finals and put them into losers, we probably would have won. I relived that last. He had no life. Tried to chip him.
Right.
The uppercut didn't come out, and he went 1-2-3, beat me. That was in my mind for about a week.
Right.
And I kind of forgot about it, and then the videos came out.
And then you had to relive it again.
But the thing is, in those games, games that are so big, you remember every sequence of, every sequence of setups, every sequence of mistakes, things that you miss, and you see it for a week or two. Even though you might not see the actual evidence on video, you remember exactly what it was like.
Right, in a high pressure situation.
You don't forget that. Never.
Right.
I guess that experience really helps when you play again, in another tournament situation. I think that's very important, is that tournament experience. A lot of people, they don't want to pay the $5 to enter a tournament because they feel like, I'm going to lose.
What's the point? I'm going to get put up against Yi. I'm going to get put up against Pyro.
I'm going to lose anyways.
What kind of mindset do you need to have going in?
I think it's a very weak mindset for people to be like, oh, okay, I don't want to pay the $5 to lose. That means you never want to get better.
Right.
Because honestly, I got better because I paid those $5 to lose every single week.
When you first started playing, how many where were the tournaments at, and how often were they?
Oh God, I first started playing.
When was this? How long have you been playing?
I first started getting serious. Okay,
when did you first touch Third Strike?
When I first touched Third Strike was probably 2001.
So you've been playing for 7 years.
However, Third Strike was 50 cents back then.
What?
At Family Fun Arcade, it was 50 cents. And
what?
All of us, we wouldn't play it because it was 50 cents. We go play Double Impact.
Oh, right.
And then all of a sudden, they dropped Third Strike down to 25 cents. Oh, wow. And then it just
was like a whole new world.
Oh, God. Everyone was just all over it.
So back then, it was, were you good?
I was horrible.
You're horrible.
I was so bad.
You used to use Ryu?
No, actually, you know what? Ken was my first character, and then I had a lot of trouble doing this, the supers with
short super?
And stuff like that.
Strong
just double motions.
Right, yeah, it was hard back then.
And so I changed to Ryu because that 3-hit combo, the Fierce, anything else afterwards,
Hurricane.
Yeah, those were just, anyone can do it. But you know what? I had a hard time doing that sometimes too. But
yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
Plus, back then, you know who the god of family fun was? It was Frank. Frank was the god of family fun. He is still my favorite American player of all time. Taught me everything I know.
He took you under his wing?
Yeah, he taught me everything.
How would you say that that's important?
I think it was very important. I can't really think of many players who made it very far without someone really taking them under their wings.
That's really important.
It's actually, it's actually very biased sometimes. Sometimes you take people under your wing because you see talent in them. Like you look at someone play and you're like, okay, dude, I know that guy is gonna get good. Like,
right.
I think I took A-Hood under my wing.
And A-Hood is
he's
a beast.
Yeah, he is. I'm scared of him.
Yeah.
At times when, like when he first came in, and like I saw him play, I'm like, he's not that good, but he's okay. But the thing that really surprised me about him was that he was willing to put the quarters in to play. A lot of these other guys that come in at family, they lose to me once or twice. They're like, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. I can't win anyways. Mm-hmm. A-Hood would sit there and keep playing. Eventually, I'm like, like he earns your respect because he comes close to beating you. He doesn't beat you. He comes close to beating you. And then you're like, that you're doing that really well, but you're lacking this. And then that's where
would he ask you what he was doing wrong, or would you just tell him?
At first, no, I didn't. He didn't really ask me. I think it's very hard for someone with pride to.
Oh yeah, of course. It's still, it's like a game, but it's not a game.
Yeah, there's a lot of pride in it, dude. And it's usually pretty hard for someone to go and ask you for advice. I hate people that come up to me and ask me for advice. Sometimes you're so stupid. Some people, just some random scrubs at the arcade that come up to me and ask me for advice. Like, I don't play your character, bro. Like, why are you asking me shit that I don't know how to do a charge partition? Right. Why are you asking me? Just because I'm a top player doesn't mean I know everything. I have to want to give advice for it to be meaningful at all.
So you would say that you, as a player that's trying to get better and is trying to come up, you need a mentor that plays your character?
Not necessarily, but like, I would have to say plays a certain style that...
Right, okay, because you couldn't teach somebody who played like Remy.
I wouldn't say I couldn't teach someone that played Remy, but I couldn't teach someone that played Turtle Remy, for instance. The way I play...
Okay, because it's more about the style.
Yeah, exactly.
Than the character.
I'm not going to be like, look, man, you just need to sit here and throw sonic booms. I'm going to be like, look, man, you need to run up there and get a fucking parry and go jab super or something, Like, that's just something that, I can't teach someone like that. But, I think I can definitely teach most Shoto characters.
Right.
Chun-Li, Dudley, very offensive characters I think I can play very well. Defensive characters, I'm just going to be like block.
When you were in that situation, how did Frank help you?
Oh, he just God, we used to sit in his car, watch him smoke a lot of weed, and we would just talk about Third Strike. He would actually, he would explain a lot of the mind games to me. He's like, this is why I knew you were going to do this move.
Really?
Yeah, it was very, it's been a long time. It's been like 5 years since I've had conversations like that with him, so I don't remember exactly,
But if you're trying to come up, you need a mentor that will explain to you all these things. What happened? What would you do if you live in a place where you don't have that?
I think if you really have to try to maybe find someone to talk to online, and but a lot of times I get these random messages from people online. I don't like them,
right?
But sometimes some people, you have to at least come to Evo, somewhere where these players gather. Mm-hmm. Introduce yourself in person.
Oh, okay.
And, at least, make yourself be liked by the other person,
right.
You
have to be humble, ingratiate yourself.
Definitely. You can't, you definitely have to be humble. Kiss a little ass sometimes here and there. You just have to do that. And definitely, most players are willing to give advice. I've given advice to a lot of people, not at Family Fun, you know? And it's because I know them, I when I went up to NorCal Regionals, I met, Jimmy and Venkat, and I
Emphy and Opera.
Yeah, And I used to talk to him a lot. We used to talk about Third Strike all the time. I showed him a lot of the mind games, and they understood it. You really have to develop a relationship first. To all you people that want to get better, don't just message top players on AIM.
Right.
We don't just sit there and talk about Third Strike all day. You really
totally not like that.
Yeah, you really need to get on a personal basis.
Yeah, you have your non-Third Strike friends on your buddy list, and then you get these random messages.
Exactly. You don't want to be bothered.
But in person at Evo, that's like totally different.
Yeah, it's like that's what we're there for.
Right.
Get on a personal basis with them.
Because we do want to, like, most top players, you would say, are like totally willing to like share the knowledge.
Yeah,
would you say? But only like on their terms.
Only on their exactly. That is a key phrase. Only on their terms.
So if you go to Evo and you like bring somebody a beer.
Oh God! Well, that's at least a 30-minute conversation about Third Strike.
That's the best $5 you ever spend that weekend.
That is at least a good 30-minute conversation. Just like buying a drink for a girl at a club is a guaranteed way to get in her pants. It's a free pass.
I don't know that it's a free pass, but it might get you in the door.
Kidding. Maybe if you're Alex Valle, but if you, I love you, Alex Valle.
Are you going to Evo this year?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because it's 1 week away from SBO, and I'd rather,
if your team will wins at SBO, you're not going to Evo.
Definitely not.
It's more important to be in Japan.
Definitely.
I see.
I'm not a big fan of console Third Strike.
Right.
And there is no point of getting into the controversy of that. I don't need to spend 10 minutes talking about that because console sucks. That's all I have to say.
Right, yeah, console's like a totally
And I'm not down for another one-game Third Strike.
Well, I'm sure it's not going to be like that this year.
Definitely not paying $50 registration fees.
Oh, it's not cheap.
It hurts.
It does. That does hurt because you only play Third Strike.
Yeah, I don't want to play any other games.
Right. Who's got time? Who's got time for other games?
Definitely.
So, tell me a little bit about your matchups. I mean, tell me, as a Ken player, what are your hardest matchups?
Yoon. Definitely. There's, sometimes when I play a certain person, it doesn't really matter, how good they are. Mm-hmm. But let's say if I were to go to Japan, and I were to play RX, I would have no fear of Urian, knowing that he's able to do everything that he can do. I would not be scared of Urian because I just feel like Ken owns Urian.
Right.
I'm just like, I have no fear. Like, dude, Urian's such a big hitbox for Ken. Like, I just feel like the way that Urian gets hit by Ken, it's just perfect.
Right.
I really like, I like playing that match because I feel like just,
it's a fun match.
At times, you get fucked up because you make one fucking mistake and you get fucking down fierced, and now you're getting fucking tackled left to right and shit, But yeah, I mean, I feel the same way when I play Ken. That's probably my favorite matchup. I own all Kens, Ken. But but Yoon is definitely the hardest match.
So what do you do when you have to play a tough Yoon? I mean,
you just have to. I just think about it like Yoon's a very fragile character.
Because he takes a lot of damage?
He takes a lot of damage. And, honestly, it just takes one good read to, really get him scared.
How do you read another player? In a tournament situation where, you've never... let's say you never played him before. Or maybe you played him once, 3 years ago.
Okay,
but this guy is good. Okay,
what you have to do is... What I do is I look at, and I can't say that about a lot of other people because I think my offensive game with Ken is very different from a lot of other people's, where I try to bait a lot of parries out on people waking up. I just try to use that to my advantage. I feel like there is a universal set of things that a lot of players do when they're on defense. Say, for instance, any character gets knocked down in the corner, and Ken's right on top of them. There's a universal set of things there's only a universal set of things that can be done in that situation.
That Ken can do, or that
the opponent,
the other player can do.
Any character can do, which is usually take a grab, wake up guess parry, wake up with the down jab to try to push them away.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the first knockdown you get, you kind of want to get a feel for how he sets his defense, you know? Like,
okay. So
well,
the match starts. You've never played this guy. I mean, are you running away to build meter and see what he does, or are you just going straight after him?
I'm kind of attacking. I'm likely going to attack.
Are you going to attack because Ken is built for that? Or are you going to attack because that's just how you...
That's just how I play.
That's
Yeah,
just how you
I would
play.
do that with any character.
Okay, so you go after him, and you find that he's a turtle.
Uh-huh.
How does your game plan change?
No, not at all. You rush him down. I
Rush him down.
I like,
Always
you know,
rush down a turtle?
honestly, I'm more scared of people that attack me than I am of turtles.
Because why is that?
Because when you turtle, you can't really damage me unless I make the mistake.
And you feel like your offensive game is strong enough that
to
you're
get
not
past
be...
any defense. I feel that way. Like, I'm an offensive player. Like, I feel like my offensive game can really get through anything, with the set of dash backs, you know, walk up parries, just a lot of like overheads, high, low, dash. You know, just there's so many options, and I feel like I can break through anything.
So you go after him when the round starts, and you get that first knockdown.
Oh yeah. And
then you hit an uppercut or you throw him or whatever. Then what happens?
The match is over.
The match is over from one knockdown.
Yes.
How does that work from there?
You know, like, actually, I came up with this when I was, like, obsessed with Third Strike. And this is, like, when Third Strike was my life, you know? Like, I was playing every day, thinking about it every minute. And I really wanted to become the player where it was all about one knockdown and I can win the game.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about that before.
Actually, I've said that to some people before. I believe that if I can knock the player down once, I can, from what I've seen... Like, I feel like I knock them down once, I can break them down so bad offensively. I mean, I can break their defense down so bad that I can win from right there, off that one knockdown.
Okay, so you get that knockdown, and then they wake up and they block.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? And how does that one knockdown win you the round?
Okay.
The round or the game?
The round.
Okay, the round.
I look at it by rounds. I don't look at it by games. So if the guy blocks... then I know that he's not the type of player where I can walk up and do a down parry on because he's not sticking something. You know how some players, they like to wake up with a down jab every single time because they think that, like Chun-Li players.
Right.
They love to do that. They think that down jab gets them out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when I knock down Chun-Li on the first knockdown, what I do is walk up and down parry.
And if you hit the down parry, then uppercut?
Low forward uppercut.
Low forward uppercut.
And now they're pretty much into the corner because I'm dashing to get them into the corner. Okay,
so then they're in the corner after one knockdown. Oh, well, technically two, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happens?
Well, now I know, I mean, unless this guy's a complete douchebag idiot, he's not going to wake up with a down jab again. You know? So now I know it's either a free throw or a mix-up. Overhead, something, you know? Like, I can't really think of a specific...
Okay, so you threw him in the corner. Now what? He's going to get up again. Is he going to...
See, now you have so many options right now.
Because he's down, 30%?
But see, now you've taken away two of his options. He can't just block now, which he's most likely he's going to do. So you can take another throw.
Okay.
He's definitely not going to wake up with a low jab again because that low forward uppercut hurt a lot.
Right.
So you just have to look at the most likely option from... good players, but not top players, would be to take another throw. Or to try to tech the throw. Which, in my case, I try to figure out how many times I can throw the guy before he's going to whiff that grab on wake up and I can dash back low forward uppercut.
What if he option selects every time?
Walk up down parry.
Because you... Okay.
I already taught him not to do that.
Right. Okay. So for anybody, it's surprising how many people don't know this.
I actually, yeah.
Okay. So when you are trying to tech a throw, you can stand up and then hit, jab and short, and you'll whiff or you'll throw or whatever. But what a lot of players don't realize, or because they're not told, or they didn't read the thread that I read when they were coming up back in the day, but you can tech the throw when you're crouching. So you can be blocking, holding down back, and then hit jab and short to tech the throw. If they But it's an option select because if they throw, you'll tech. If they don't throw, you'll get a jab. And so you're relatively safe, except when Yi is going to walk up and bait.
But I mean, like, I'm not the only player that does that. You
Right.
look at Sugiyama in Japan; he lives off that.
Lives off the walk-up down parry.
MOV Chun-Li, he lives off the walk-up down parry.
Okay, so you said that a good player will take the throw again. What does the top player do?
Jump right out.
Jump right out.
Not jump straight up. Jump that way out.
Out of the corner.
I wouldn't even say jump parry out that way, out the other direction, and put the other guy in the corner.
Because you've put yourself in a situation where if they do that, then you're vulnerable.
You're pretty much just knowing that in third strike, life bar doesn't matter, and in order to win, you got to take that big risk of jumping out right there. I mean,
right.
yeah.
I've heard you talk before about how when you're put in the corner, before you used to try to sit there and tech throws
try
and
to fight my way out.
Safely fight your way out. And now you just will super jump,
right? And it works, right? And you see me get out of that corner many times doing that.
Right.
And when that happens to you, it's pretty discouraging, right? Because you're like, fuck. I'm trying really hard to,
keep him in the corner.
Put my offensive game to, show all angles of my offensive game.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, like the high-low. I want to make this guy whip that grab so I can do a down parry with Urian.
Right.
Make that guy whip a grab. Walk up, do that down parry because I know you want to do that. But when the guy just decides to get up and just jump right out, you're pretty discouraged. You're like, God damn it.
I worked so hard.
I got to chase this motherfucker down again and put him back
in the other
corner.
Right? Okay, so let's say they try to jump out. I mean, what happens when they try to, let's say, super jump parry out and you do like meaty strong fears?
Yeah, he's fucked.
Okay, and then what does the top player do? Does the top player try to jump out again?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's just too many situations at this point. You can't really analyze a match where you know exactly what could happen. But yeah, I mean, he could jump again, thinking that you're not going to do that meaty strong fierce again, or he could wake up guest parry. What if in that situation I think he's going to jump out, but I do my meaty strong fierce, but at the same time, what he does is he presses forward and guest parries.
Right, and
I've
then
seen
you're
Pyro
in the
do
corner.
that to me a million times.
And then you're in the corner.
Oh, all right, get Canadian.
Or you get Canadian,
Yeah,
of course.
Okay,
so you've gotten him into the corner off of a couple of you got a throw, you got a low forward uppercut. They're in the corner, and then you threw them a couple more times. They're down to half life off of basically the momentum generated from one knockdown. Now what happens?
Oh, okay. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. You can keep doing what you're doing, being the aggressive play type.
Okay.
You can keep, trying to read the other guy's wake up, which is what I would call the offensive guessing.
Mm-hmm.
You keep trying to do that, try to think when they're going to whiff the grab, think when they're going to stick out the down jab, think when they're going to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go back to the very, very basics from 2003, 2002.
And that's just to take a step back?
Or do Watson stuff.
Which is turtle and wait for them to make a mistake?
Walk up, short, pause, short, super. Short jab, throw, mix up from there. And there's very good ways to mix up your mix-ups, to disguise your mix-up. Let's say, instead of just walking up and doing a down parry, you walk up, do the meaty strong fierce to put them into block stun, and then you do a down parry because they're going to think you're going to stop the chain and throw. But really, they stick out that down jab, and you knew it was coming, down parry it, low forward uppercut. So you disguised it instead of making it look just like a walk up down parry. You disguised it with another move.
So how else can you disguise?
There are so many ways to disguise things. You can disguise it by making yourself look really basic.
So you make yourself you're doing Watson stuff,
and then all of a sudden you
just turn on the juice.
Yeah, exactly.
And go get them. Do you think though that all good players are thinking about that?
No. I mean, I think we all play very differently. Everyone thinks about things very differently. Because I mean, you can look at Vic's play style and he's just a wall.
Right.
You know.
So
But he thinks that way too. Like sometimes he catches me with things like that. I'm like, oh god, he got me really good.
So what's your preference? I mean, you're like whittling them down. Let's say now they have like, 40% life. I mean, are you going to continue to go for it, or are you going to take a step back?
Okay,
and
it really depends on the player.
Oh, in a tournament situation, first round.
Oh, first round. Oh god, you never want to lose that first round.
Right.
You can lose the second round, but you can never lose the first round.
Right.
That's always the best round. I mean, if I was playing against like characters like Makoto, Oro,
with
Urian, with one hit, one lucky guess. I mean, like one just like fuck it, I'm gonna die, lose this round anyways. I'm just gonna go for it. You kind of have to,
You have to play a little bit
safer. But when you're playing like a Ken,
right, where they can't
kill you in one shot, I guess you can continue being aggressive, but you don't really have to be.
Right. So do you do that? Do you take a step back and play a little bit safer?
Against Makoto? Oh, yeah, dude. I'm not.
So what do you do?
Close.
Okay, so you put Makoto in the corner, and she's down to like 30%. And she's got she picked, Super R2, and she's got maybe like, what, like half a bar? You back off.
No, I go to the point where I know that one grab would fuck me up. But at the same time, sometimes you want to use that to advantage because I know he knows that I'm thinking that, once he gets to that bar, I'm going to back off a little. Mm-hmm. That's when you trick him, and you don't back off.
But if you don't back off, are you really tricking them? Because they still only need one lucky opening.
But he's thinking that you are going to back off.
So how does he adjust his game?
Oh god, there was one time that Ken what actually got out of it, but what I saw Ken do was actually very good. When I see Ken get that bar in the corner, and he has like this much life, right? He has a little bit of life left.
A little bit of life, 10%.
Yeah, like one fierce with Ken would kill him.
Uh-huh.
But he has enough bar to grab me and kill me.
Uh-huh.
And he's in the corner. And he knew I was just gonna walk back a little bit, and I wasn't gonna stick anything out, because if I stick anything out, I could get parried.
Right.
This is what Ken did on his wake up. He woke up and dashed at me and grabbed.
Oh.
Yeah, he knew it. He knew I was backing off. I mean, if I wasn't backing off and I just hit like down roundhouse, he would have died.
Right.
He would have just ran right into a down roundhouse.
Yeah.
He knew I was gonna walk back, a little bit.
Uh-huh.
He went right after me with no life.
With no life, because he was like...
He was going to die anyways.
Yeah, he was going to die.
Might as well, right?
Right.
I don't know how I got out of it, but I got out of it.
So now we can see how one knockdown at the beginning of the round can totally change the entire
definitely.
round. Okay, so you won that first round off of that one knockdown. How do you approach the second round?
Second round. Depends on how much meter I have.
Let's say you used it all.
Then I attack.
To build more.
Yeah. I think the best way to build meter is by attacking.
Not to be running around.
Not by running around and building. Unless it's like the only really big threat that you really have to back off and build meter is against Chun-Li. Because she outdistances it. She just outdistances Ken, and like... For me, I mean, maybe for me, it's not universal for maybe another Ken player, another Chun-Li player, but for me, I sometimes have to actually back up and make sure. Against Chun-Li, I always feel like I always have to fight with one super bar.
Right.
Because I'm not getting any damage on her without a super bar in the middle of the screen.
Because her moves will be yours.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's really hard to... I mean, you can't just dash in at her.
Right.
You can't just jump in at her whenever you want. That's why I feel like in mid-screen, I always want to fight her with one super. So just in case she sticks out that poke a little bit wrong,
right,
I get that super in. Now she's in the corner.
So tell me a little bit about footsies with Ken.
I don't know shit about footsies.
Nothing.
No, I refuse to play footsies because I feel like it's...
What do you do when another player is playing footsies?
I just fucking jump at them.
So Chun is sitting there, or she's walking back and forth, hitting fears, or low forward. She has meter. Let's say she has 2 meters. You refuse to play footsies.
I refuse to play footsies.
Would you say that that's a weakness?
No. I mean, yeah, it would be like great if I could play footsies as good as Mike Mike Watson or like Vae or
Right.
those guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like because they spent so much time practicing that footsie
Right,
game,
that's
it took so much away from everything else.
It's a generation gap.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I mean, it's a generation gap, but I've seen older players take on the new style of play where they are like, I'm gonna learn how to play
third strike.
super
Or third strike.
Yeah,
Hmm.
third strike for third strike. But I definitely felt like playing footsies takes away from
Because third strike is not that kind of game.
it's not that type of
So you can
it's not
get-
meant to be played like that.
Right. You can get to a. I mean, it's important to an extent, but you can always, as Ken, you can basically opt out
And jump.
and jump.
He's really good at jumping.
Yeah.
Ken is good at jumping because you commit at the wrong situation, Yexer can kick out. He's got a lot of ways to get out of jumps,
Right.
bad jumps. Really good jumper.
So back to the match. Let's say you have Meter the second round. You beat him the first round. It's a tournament. It's Evo. It's whatever. Are you playing safer?
No, I try to trick him into a super in the beginning of the round, getting super in the beginning of the round.
How do you trick somebody into?
Like a lot of Ken players. I don't know why, but this works a lot. Like I stick out. Against a lot of people, right? I'll walk back, just shake a little bit, stick out a low short, and for a lot of players, they see that as a sign to dash in.
Oh, okay.
Because I think I've hit you with that a lot too, where I
Yeah.
stick out a low short, and then you're like, "Oh, there's a sign to. Here's a chance for me to dash in."
I don't know why that is, but
It works, right?
Yeah, it
Am I-
does
you know
work.
what I mean? And then my
Yeah.
low four is out there, and you're like, "God damn it!" Right?
Yeah.
I try to do that a lot in the beginning of the round. If I
Okay.
have that to begin the round with.
And so then you've gotten that knockdown. You got the first hit. You got a little extra damage. You got him down 25%.
I love a knockdown in the middle of the screen with Ken because I have so many ambiguous cross-up setups.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a couple of it.
No.
No.
The answer is no. I mean, just like fake cross-ups. I mean, most of you play a family, you've seen them.
Right.
Maybe if you're outside of the country, outside of the state, you might not know the cross-ups as well, but they're there. Sometimes they're pretty hard to see.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you do against an ambiguous cross-up as Ken?
If I'm Ken and
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the ambiguous cross-up, I know all of them, so I know how to get out of them.
So what's the best ambiguous cross-up?
The one where you super jump after a knockdown.
Okay, so let's say
After
you
super
super
knockdown in mid-screen.
Uh-huh.
You do a super jump. I mean, it doesn't work on every character. It only works on the characters that wake up a certain way. Because you have to time it.
Like
Against
the
certain-
Shotos?
Against Shotos, I time it with the standing strong. That's
Okay.
the timing. You stick out the standing strong, and now
After
it's time to jump.
you did the super.
I land,
You land,
standing
standing
strong,
strong,
super jump.
super jump.
Against Chun-Li, it's something else. Against another character, it's another way to time it.
You super jump and then
I land.
land.
And honestly, I don't even know which way I'm going to land.
But it
I'm
doesn't
telling you the
matter.
truth. I really don't know which way I'm landing, but I'm hitting either low short or standing strong, and I'm going to chain it, and if it hits, I'm going to super.
Right. How do you get out of that?
I can't tell everyone my secrets.
You have to tell everybody your
Not
secrets.
maybe.
That's why we're here.
Wow, but I'm already teaching you the setup. Maybe if you guys really want to do your homework, think about how you get out of it. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Email me your answers on how to get out.
Okay, so tell me about the hardest player that let's say your biggest rival.
Pyro,
Pyro.
for sure. He's the hardest.
Why? What is your mentality against Pyro compared to other players?
It's more the character. It's Yoon.
It's
He's
still
the
Yoon.
only Yoon player not taken away from other Yoon players at all, but I think he's the closest thing to Japanese Yoon.
Right.
And he really shows you how fucking cheap Yoon can be.
With the Canadian.
Yeah.
Because, Pyro says activate 3 times you win.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do against that?
Pretty much what it comes down to is once one activation comes out, and you're obviously most likely in the corner, you have about 5 seconds on the third strike. Oh, God. 7 seconds on the third strike clock before another one comes out.
Wow.
Not-
Well, assuming that it's set to normal and not super.
Yeah, about 7
ridiculously
seconds
fast.
against Pyro.
Against Pyro, yeah.
Average, I would say 6.5 seconds.
Right.
Before another one comes out.
So what do you do
You have 6.5 seconds to get out.
to go get him?
To get out of another Ganagin.
To make so that he has to build. So he has to like
to not let him get another Ganagin on you.
Okay.
You have 6.5 seconds, pretty much.
So what do you do when you get knocked down and then let's say he crosses you up?
I guess my ass off.
Are you basing your guesses on what he's doing that round, that game, that day, or
A lot of.
all
I mean,
the
I've
times
played
that
him
you
a
played
lot, so I know. I've seen almost every situation, and I just guess. I just try to guess which is the best situation in that at that time. I can't really go into detail exactly what because.
So what if you were playing? What if you're in Japan in SBO playing, and you play this Yun that you've never played before?
Mhm.
He activates in the corner,
Mhm.
knocks you down.
Mhm. And now he's trying to set up another Ganagin.
Now he's
right?
trying to set up another Ganagin. What do you do?
God, I don't want to block because I feel like he's gonna try to steal a fucking free command grab off of me. You know. So you really just have to commit to one thing. Either just block and let him take that command grab because those assholes will, get that free command grab on you knowing that you're gonna block, or you can, which is really risky in the first knockdown. Or usually when I see a cross-up dive kick on me in the corner, I try to red parry. It's just, I see it the same way as a Ken cross-up,
Uh-huh.
You just got to parry high or low after, they cross you up.
Mm.
You know how when Ken crosses you up to the other side, he goes strong fears, you can red parry the strong.
Right.
Or low. I see the same way as Yun's cross-up dive kick in the corner. I just guess one way or the other. The one thing that Yun has is a command grab.
So he would...
Just haven't you ever been crossed up in the corner and right into a command grab, right?
Right.
And sometimes, you make a good guess by jumping right back after the cross up. Jump, parry, back out of the cross up.
When you're in the corner?
Yeah.
So you're doing the whole super jump, parry out?
No. He crosses himself into the corner.
Right. Okay, right. Okay,
and you're
so
jumping backwards out.
Oh, okay. So you'll wake up, block, and then super jump out.
Super jump out. If I think he's going to command grab me right away.
And if you don't think that? Then you're committing to the Shoryu.
I'm parrying.
Okay.
I'm guess parrying. Yeah.
Okay, so then how do you fight off the Ganagin?
For the last couple months, I tried to guess my way out of all of them, and it wasn't working. Really can't fight it off. You just have to get lucky. You just have to see when the perfect opportunity to stick out a jab or a low short to stop him from getting closer.
So jab and low short are Ken's best options to keep it away.
Uppercut.
And uppercut. But he can hit you out of that.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, like a well-timed uppercut.
When he's going for like a hop kick? Or when he's...
Command grab. Or he sticks out a move a little too late and your uppercut can actually come out and beat it. Yesterday I was playing Pyro when we were playing the team battles. And he was trying to get close to me by doing low short.
Right.
Low short,
Walk up, low short.
I down parried and an uppercut.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Was that something that is
I've done to him before. That's why.
Just because you guys have played a lot?
We play a lot. I know that he eventually he gets close enough for me to get that parry and uppercut.
Right. Okay, so he activates... Okay, let's say you uppercut, but then he's got like another 25%, of his meter, and then how do you fight him off when he's like... What if he just runs away and then just continues to build meter and then activates again?
There's absolutely nothing you can do.
Nothing.
You just have to...
Would you run?
Huh?
Would you run?
No. You have to be on
Fireballs?
him. You have to be on him. You have to be on him.
It's not riskier?
Right on top of him. Like a Yun... Again, well, for me, Yun versus Ken is like a complete all-out match for Ken. He has to go all-out to win.
Because if he just sits there,
he's going to just get a billion Ganagins, and eventually... You're going to get hit by something because you might get lucky the first 2 times and block it all, but the third time, he'll get you.
So against Pyro and against all Yuns, you go after them.
Oh, big time.
You have to. So it's a race between them getting an agent and you getting to them.
And you hitting them. Yeah, that's what it is for me. what makes Yun so good is, I mean, besides Ganejin, is his defense. It's so good.
Because his pokes, or because he can...
First off, he jumps out so fast out of the corner.
Right.
Dive kick. His dash back is good.
Right. I actually saw Pyro playing yesterday when he was playing against Bean. Bean would activate, Pyro just does backdash 10 times.
His
and then
backdash
is
is half the screen. It's
Yeah.
really good. So you have to look at things like that. And then his wake up grab is really good. You could wake up car grab with the short.
Uh-huh.
And he gets a big, I don't know why, but he gets a big step into it, and then even though I'm throwing at the same time when he's waking up, he beats it.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, you always talk about wake up low short dash punch.
Right.
This is also.
What do you do against that?
Let me say more about that. Okay. I compare it to Ken. Like sometimes my equivalent to wake up low short or wake up standing short is wake up low forward Shoryuken.
Right.
However, if I wake up low forward Shoryuken and it gets blocked, I'm dead.
Right.
He can go wake up short into jab shoulder. Even if it gets blocked, he's safe.
Right.
Even if it gets blocked, it can turn into Ganejin.
Can you reversal that?
No, not a jab one.
Can't do anything.
No. See, that's what makes him so good is because even on defense, his offense is like wake up short, shoulder, it turns into Ganejin.
Right.
Or he's completely safe. And another thing that makes him so good is that he could wake up jab jab, short, strong, chain combo.
Right.
I mean, just the fact that your best combo starts with the jab
Right.
is kind of ridiculous, right?
Right.
And then the wake up strong also comes out really fast.
Right.
Strong 1, 2, 3. Strong, fierce.
So what do you do against
fierce or something? You have to meaty things, but when you meaty things, you just have to be looking out for the parry.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to keep your distance a little, and then it's
if you keep your distance, then
they can jump out and stuff like that. There's a lot.
Continue to build meters.
It's just a very hard match. That's what makes Yoon so difficult because so many options that are all so safe that eventually lead to a Ganejin.
Right.
And which just completely kills your offense. I hate chasing Yun across the screen and then boom Ganejin and I have to
run the other way.
Right? I hate that.
Right.
I hate that.
What can you do? Do you think? Do you have to chase him down?
I think you have to chase him down.
Because you have to create opportunities.
You have to create the opportunities. I mean, with Ken, you definitely have to chase him down.
How do you create opportunities safely? Or does it matter? Does it matter if you're playing safe when you're just trying to create opportunities?
When you're trying to create opportunities, you're never safe. Because you're always putting yourself in harm's risk for a big combo. Because you're the one opening yourself up to make the opening. They're not. They're just blocking. They're safe. You're the one hitting buttons trying to.
Do you try to create opportunities differently against different characters?
Oh, definitely, all the time.
How does it work against a character like Urian compared to a character like Yun, Chun?
There's a lot of setups that I can do on Urian that I cannot do to Yoon because he's so small.
Oh, okay.
Like standing strong setups, I can't do it to Yoon. He ducks right on.
Oh, right.
Stuff like that. Like Urian, I can jump back. Another option is a jump back roundhouse because he's so tall. I can still hit him with that. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that you're playing a taller character really allows you to do so many more options. I really think the smaller the character in this game, the more of an advantage you have because you're able to duck under certain things,
right? Get
under certain things.
A bunch of setups that you don't even have to worry about.
Yeah, you will never have to worry about getting kicked by jump back roundhouse. Chun-Li never has to worry about jump back roundhouse. Urian, Dudley, taller characters have to worry about character jumping in, jumping right back out. Mm-hmm. And that's something that you have to look in. That's just another way that matchups start to differ, and you can use certain different setups because of the character height and what they can do or whatnot.
Right. So I've heard you say before that you have the highest third strike IQ in the country.
I will stand by that. I really think
Still have the highest third strike IQ. Okay. Tell me what you understand about third strike that most people don't.
I don't know. I can't really explain it. I think I can teach it very well. I can explain the game very well. My understanding of it is very well. I might not know frame rates, like
frame data,
all that shit. I have absolutely no clue about it. But I think what I mean by high IQ is maybe like reading people and seeing their patterns, the mind games. And I attribute that mainly to Frank because that was his play style. He told me that he has everyone's baseball card,
wow.
Yeah, this was his quote exactly. I mean, maybe he didn't say baseball card, but a player profile card.
Yeah.
And whenever he would go into a certain match, he would flip open that player card and he'd look at it. And he'd be like, okay, these are this guy's tendencies. These are some of the things that he's done to me before. These are other things that he's done to me before.
So how do you start that? How do you keep track of those things?
How do you keep track of those?
I mean, how do you even go about learning a player's tendencies?
I guess for me, it's when you lose, you really... I mean, when we lose, you don't forget. You don't just oh, whatever, I lost.
Right.
You think about that.
You're like, what happened here?
Fuck, man, why didn't I do this? Or God damn it, I can't believe I got hit by that. Those things stay in your mind. And usually when that happens to a top player, it's done by something that's a very good move by the other player. You're not going to beat a top player by doing garbage.
Right.
You have to do a good trick of yours, a good setup of yours. And I think those are the things that stick to you because you got hit by one of those good setups by another player. You're not going to forget it. So I guess in Frank's case, where I sit down on his card, remembers that. And
would he really write it down?
No, he just smokes a lot of weed.
Just mentally. Okay.
He smokes a lot of weed.
And think about it.
Yeah. And when you're in that situation again next time, you're like, oh God, he's going to try to do that setup again. And I know the exact counter for it.
Okay, so let's say you see that count. Okay, he puts you in that situation again. You know exactly what to do. You counter it perfectly with whatever it is that's best in that situation. Next time he puts you in that situation again,
it's a
now
guessing
what
game
happens?
Now. It's a layer of guessing game. It's is he thinking that he can get away with it again because I got out of it last time? Or is he going to try something else? It's so deep. That's what makes Third Strike so fun is because, it's just a complete guessing game. It's and when you read right, oh God, it's the best feeling in the world. But I can't really say exactly, what you do in the next situation. It all depends who you're playing against because I know, how Kenai loves to go low short, ground pound, the EX chop, and then he likes to fucking do it again, and he likes to fucking do it again, and then after 3 times, now you're really thinking to yourself, what is he going to do now? Is he going to really do it 4 times in a row? Or is he going to think you're blocking now, he's going to go grab,
So what do you do? What do you do when they do something that hits you 3 times? They throw you 3 times, he, overheads 3 times. What do you do?
I don't know. Those are very tough situations. God, just you just have to think about it. Can any Makoto scrub hit you with 3 low short EX pounds in a row? That's not named Kenai. Can they do that to you? No,
probably
right?
Not.
Probably not. So you have to really think about it. Kenai probably has something planned after that 3rd one. Can any random Chun-Li scrub not named Amir throw you 8 times in a row in the corner?
Right. No.
No, right?
They're not.
There's a reason why he's able to do that,
So what do you do against Ken? What do you do against Amir in that situation? Amir throws you 8 times.
You jump out the first time.
Jump out the first time.
Against Ken, you down parry the second time he does it.
Mm.
You just...
So you can't just sit there.
I mean, you sitting there is pretty much letting them do their whole offensive game on you.
Right. And that is just...
Because Kenai's whole offensive game is low, short, EX, punch. Low, short, EX, punch. Amir's whole offensive... And I'm not saying the whole game, but like
right.
a big part of where they try to take your life away is 8 card throws in a row.
Right.
For you to sit there and take it is like you allowing them to do that to you.
So you have to create your own situation.
You have to get out.
You have to super jump out, tech, jab, anything.
Guess, wake up, fierce uppercut, something, anything, but not nothing.
Anything but nothing.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing nothing, you're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, you're just letting them get deeper into their offensive game. You know, like... I have 4. If I can't kill you in 4 straight reads, like 4 straight knockdowns, then I definitely have a 5th one ready. You know, it's not like after I do 4 of them, I'm like,
you only had 4.
I'm out of ideas. You know, like, dude, I got more, dude. I wish you had like a 10-time long life bar so I can keep doing it.
Do
you
all
know?
your setups. Right.
And like, dude, we got a billion setups. We all have a billion setups.
How do you go about, or how did you go about developing your setup?
I took some from others. I thought about, I guess, in the end, they're all very similar setups. It's just the way you disguise them. That's where the disguise comes in very importantly. Like, for instance, I really like Watson's setup of low, short, standing jab, throw.
Right.
Okay? But there's in
the corner.
Yeah. But there's so much more you can do off of that. Because, for instance, go low, short, standing jab. The other guy sees that because he's seen it so many times. He's thinking, what?
Throw.
You're going to throw. What do? Walk back. He whiffs that grab. You go low forward uppercuts. That's a disguised setup.
Uh-huh.
Your main intention wasn't to do low, short, standing jab, walk back, low forward uppercut. Your main intention was to make him whiff the grab.
What if they're a smart player and they just option select with the...
Then you down parry. It's the same thing. Walk back, down parry. I could do it all the time.
Walk back, down parry.
I know a lot of people can't, these players these days have family, they always ask me, how do you do that so well? How do you do that walk-up parry so well? I'm like, I really can't explain it. I just, show them my hands. Walk up, parry. But I can't explain, how do I know when to press down?
It's something that you learn with experience.
I feel it.
You feel it.
I feel it. And you can never explain the feeling. You just feel it.
I remember you told me before when we were talking that you're able to down parry after... You're kind of able to,
down
cheat.
parry block. Yeah.
Down parry block. Tell me about the down parry block. Because that was new to me.
This is really hard to explain. God. I'm trying to think of the situation where I do that the most in. Okay.
I think if you're, blocking a jump...
Yeah, okay, that's how I explained it last time. So, I do this to Vic a lot, and he hates it. Vic would, with Dudley, he'd jump in roundhouse, block the roundhouse, and he'd go low short. Do the low short super. I would block the jump in roundhouse high, and then with my hands, I would go to a down parry position, and then I would roll it right back.
Are you going from back to neutral to down?
No, I just go back down. Usually it comes out. A lot of times.
Okay, well, you have to be going to neutral.
It's very important because a lot of times it comes out of red parry. So that means I'm going to neutral, right?
Right.
Okay. See, I don't know the specifics of it. I just do it.
Okay. Back to down.
Back to down, and it's like instantaneous. You go down like a back fireball motion. It's kind of like I'm pulling myself to block.
From back to neutral really quickly to down.
And then roll
to down back.
Yeah. No, to down to walking back to boom like that, like a backward fireball motion, and then you can go right back to down block if you want.
Back
what you do
after
after the initial block, then you can go back to whatever block you want. After the okay. For instance, if no down jab comes out, you're gonna block, a high move, because you're doing it so fast that you're pulling it right back to high block.
Okay, but
if a low short comes out, then you get the down parry.
But can you? I guess what I'm trying to say is, does the parry still come out if you're going? I mean, don't you have to tap down?
I do tap it.
So you're tapping it and then putting it in neutral again, and then doing the backward fireball motion?
Okay, I'm blocking the jumping roundhouse.
Uh-huh.
And then after I block the jumping roundhouse, I go down parry. And then I roll it back to neutral block.
But if you try to parry and hold down, I mean, you can't just parry and hold down.
I don't hold it. I just go boom, and then I pull it back. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like it's a very hard thing to explain. It can be done, yeah.
And so that gets you out of basically anything that Dudley's going to do to you.
No,
in that situation.
no, it does not get you out of everything. He can throw you.
But if he throws you, then you can just roll and then you dash back and then you're out of it.
Yeah, I get that on all the Dudley players. Sure, I do it to Sherwin, I do it to JR, I do it to Vic. I do it to all of them.
Wow. Yeah, that's top tier expert status.
Another way that you can do that is because I remember Frank knows it too. Frank knows that trick too.
Mm.
And we would play a lot of Kens. And let's say like Ken knocks Ken down with a low roundhouse, like from maximum distance.
Uh-huh.
And then Ken tech rises, and so like you're gonna get like, and the other Ken does a standing roundhouse, the far one, and he hits you with the tippy toes. You can do the same trick. You can go for the down parry, and then right away when you're getting up, down parry, and then pull it back to block. So if it's a sweep, you'll get a parry, but since he's doing standing roundhouse, which can only get parried high, you're still gonna block it.
You're safe either way.
Yeah.
So in that situation against Dudley, you're covered. Except against everything except for the throw.
Oh, I can't make that guarantee. I don't want you guys to go out there and be like, okay, I'm gonna fucking stop all of Dudley's jump-ins. It really doesn't work. But it is important to work.
It is important to work.
It does work. I mean, but there's a lot of times where it doesn't work on everything. It definitely doesn't work on everything. I won't. I'm not gonna do that to every move. There's only certain moves that I would try that on. There's only certain characters I could do that to. I don't think I can do that to anything that Urien does. It's just, it works on certain people. It works on certain things. It works really well on Dudley's jumping roundhouse, low short. Ken's standing roundhouse. Can't really think of any other situations. But
do you have any other parry tricks like that? Because that's something that you're totally not going to read about on SRK.
Oh yeah. No, I don't. I used to think Frank could parry high and low at the same time though. Right. He guessed that well. I really thought he could.
Tell me about guessing. How is Frank or anybody really so good at guessing, and what can you do about it?
You don't attack.
Right. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
You delay your attacks a little, but that gives them an advantage.
Because you're hesitating?
Yeah, because now they can hit first.
Right.
Or what I do with Ken is I just keep jumping on their heads.
On wake up?
Yeah.
Okay. So
and try to mix up from there, I put them in a situation where they can't wake up guest parry because I'm on top of their head. And I still get my mix-up in when I land. A lot of times it ends up being ambiguous, too, because they don't know which side I'm landing on.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I do against the guessers.
Okay. That's good. That's good. You're lucky. Urien has no cross-up like that. Okay.
You definitely can't jump on top of my head.
Right, yeah, because I've had conversations with players where they say that, this guy guesses so much, he's so random. And I say, well, if you know that he's going to guess every time, it's not random anymore because you know that he's going to do it.
It's not random.
So you have to, what I tell them, just because it's different with Urien, but I say that you can eliminate the guess by not attacking. And you just let him get up, and you don't even put yourself in that situation. Of course, then you have to rebuild the momentum again. Yeah,
see, I differ from that philosophy. I like to attack. I want to hit the guy.
Right.
I don't want to wait a little bit and then attack. I want to attack right away.
Right. But what about against a character like Makoto?
Then, oh god, we're just back to talking about what I would do against Ken.
Right.
You just have to know when's a good time to strike and when is a bad time to strike.
And that is something that you learn.
You learn from just being good, just being good. Just being good. Look, dude, we don't make idiot mistakes all the fucking time, It's like
we don't, but if you don't live in a place that has a strong community, it's different.
True.
You might not even know what an idiot mistake looked like.
That is very true, actually. I can definitely see someone from some other state running up to Kenai when he has no life and trying to hit him.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, yes, Perry.
Thank you for letting me win.
So tell me about your mindset in a tournament when, let's say, you're down. You lost the first round. You got like half life left in the second round. Do you change gameplay?
I think you have to change your game plan to steal that round.
So you go from going balls out, attacking,
Yeah.
to waiting?
I look at this very similarly to like a playoff basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when you play on the road, you're at a big disadvantage. But they always say if the road team can be within like 5 points during the fourth quarter of a basketball game, they can steal the game.
Right.
I see it the same way. If I'm losing a round, I do actually start, playing a little bit safer, hoping for a mistake that I can steal it, get that. I remember this one match that I completely stole. It was against Arnell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I completely stole that match.
Don't even get me started with that.
I mean, yeah, he should have kept doing the unblockable, but looking past that, he gave me a chance to live.
Right,
Just like how we say, in the fourth quarter, you let the road team stay in the game by 5 points. I'm still in the game. I'm not dead yet. I'm still in there. He gives me one opening. And
Arnell plays Urian.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. He gave me one opening, and I stole the match.
How did you steal it without you yourself putting yourself in a situation where you're vulnerable to him, because you were like one hit away?
Yeah, I was one hit from dying. A low forward.
Because Arnell had gotten you into
I was a low forward from dying.
Yeah, because Arnell had gotten you into this ridiculous corner setup.
He actually got me pretty good with that.
Yeah,
I walked back down fierce.
Right. And so how did you, against Urian, come back without getting hit?
It was a one knockdown win.
Okay.
It was exactly what it was, a one knockdown win. He gave me one opening, which was he knee dropped right in front of me.
Yeah.
And then we both stuck out a poke, but my poke beat his. I linked it into super.
Uh-huh.
Mid screen, went for one of my
standing strong and then the ambiguous
went for one
cross-up.
of my ambiguous cross ups.
Uh-huh.
Knocked it down, and then I canceled that into super.
And he had almost full life.
Yeah, he pretty much had full life.
Okay.
And then he after I did the second super, he was pixels. I walked up and chipped him.
Wow.
One knockdown win. He did not, he had such a huge lead, but he was not able to muster out another move after that one mistake.
What should he have done after he realized that he missed? He let you live, and he missed the opportunity.
He should have walked his ass into the fucking other end of the corner, built one Aegis reflector, and done tackle EX Aegis, because eventually I would have got hit and died.
Right.
But he knee dropped me right in front of me, and then my poke beat his.
So in that situation, I mean, when you have a large lead, right? I mean, it's not exactly obvious to sit on that lead. I mean, it wasn't obvious for me to sit on that lead. It was actually after I saw Justin do it, Justin Wong, because he came over here for that buy.com tournament and that Cal Poly tournament, and I would see him get like 25-30% lead on somebody and then just sit and wait.
Well, he could do it though. He could do that. I can't do that.
Right, because you're impatient.
I'm very impatient. I need to hit something.
So the importance. So I mean, that just goes to show the importance of learning patience, but also, being able to go balls out.
Yeah. All
the time.
Yeah. Someone once said to me, Venkat said, I play really safe, but at the same time, I'm not being turtley.
Right. I think that's like the best.
Yeah.
I think that's the best strategy for Urian.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know too much about Urian.
Yeah.
And then there was something else that KSK said that I really liked. He goes, I might lose all the time, but whenever I play, the crowd goes, ah.
Because you have to play to win. You can't play to not lose.
Yeah.
You have to go for it. You have to create situations And so, unless you're like Kuroda and can just like block everything,
Yeah,
stay
and red
alive,
parry everything.
and red parry
Yeah.
everything, you have to go for it.
Yeah.
You have to work on your offensive game,
It's just as important as your defensive game.
if not more important.
And some people get by on defense, though.
Right, but it's very rare because eventually, especially if you're playing a character like Yun, 3 Ganagins, you're
Yeah.
dead. Urian,
You have to be able to kill him first before he gets those 3. And if your offensive game is weak and you're doing your damage with pokes here and there,
right.
you're
That's
not
not
gonna win,
gonna.
dude.
That's not gonna.
You're not
cut
gonna
it
win.
in 2008.
Definitely not.
In
You're
Third
gonna
Strike.
die so fast, man. Because if you poke me a couple times, I'm like, okay, here comes my low forward uppercut,
Right.
and the match is even.
So
That's why I kind of say sometimes, life bar doesn't matter.
okay, yeah. Let's talk about life bar not mattering because this was something. New, this was a new concept for me
Yeah.
not too long ago. Because, when you're playing Third Strike, you think when you're first starting out, you think that the life bar is everything.
Oh yeah, it's everything, right?
But it's actually
Nothing
not
at all.
nothing.
I mean, it's something, but
It's not as important
not
as you
important
think.
thing.
Because Third Strike is a game that the other person can get one knockdown
and win. Yeah.
or get a big opening, unblockable, a big combo, whatever, and win.
With your character, you can do that. Are you starting to see that?
Yeah, definitely.
Life bar doesn't matter, right? You could take some hits, take some risks here and there. As long as you don't die, you can take those risks.
Right. So, how do you go about adopting the life bar doesn't matter mentality? And when does the life bar matter?
When you have the life bar matters when you're playing Chun-Li. This is probably the easiest way for anyone to understand this. You're playing Chun-Li, and you have half life. She has a super. Life bar doesn't matter. You're not gonna die.
Okay. Because one opening, whatever, you can make the biggest mistake and you're still
just gonna eat a fucking super anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
You play fucking safe, and she hits you with that low forward. You're eating a super. You go fucking balls out, jump in, uppercut, blah 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 blah. You still eat one super.
And you're still alive.
You're still alive.
So it didn't matter.
It starts matter when she hits you twice before she punches you 2 times in the face, and then she still has a super.
And then it
matters.
Now it's gonna matter.
Now it matters because you're dead if you get hit.
Right.
That's what I mean by life bar doesn't matter.
Right.
It's actually kind of weird how I began to see the life bar didn't matter kind of thing.
How did that happen?
Watching KO.
What would KO do?
Doesn't give a fuck.
And
this is the first time I really kind of began seeing that life bar didn't matter when KO was here in America playing Third Strike with us.
Mhm.
And he would pick Makoto. God, this guy was unbeatable. He was playing against me, Kokujin, KSK, and Vic. He had like a 40-game streak on us within a matter of like 20 minutes. And he stunned us every single time.
Because he would go for it.
He'd just go for it every single time. He would take a fat combo from me. And then the next time I tried to do a fat combo on him, I was dead. He just didn't care. I'm not saying like not caring, but like he knew that his life bar didn't matter, and if he kept taking the risks, eventually one risk would pay off.
Right. Okay, that's what
I'm
saying. That's what I'm trying to get at. If you keep going and going and going and attacking, you're kind of like increasing your odds of it connecting with every single time that you do it.
Definitely.
And that's what I think a lot of players don't really understand because they think, okay, well, they can like stop my rush down with like, low forward super or whatever. But if you keep at it, I see Ken I do this all the time.
He's the perfect example.
Yeah. But I guess it is a Makoto specific
It's a Makoto,
example.
yeah. It's more, I mean, Makoto life bar never matters. When I play Makoto, I don't even look at my life bar. I look at the stun bar. I don't even care because once I stun you, you're dead. Is what it comes down to. I think I've noticed that when Kenai plays, okay, maybe it's a Makoto thing, but do you find that you can read what they're gonna do based on your stun bar? Oh yeah, that matters a lot. On Kenai, what Kenai's gonna do matters a lot.
Okay, so he will. You have like half. Your stun bar is halfway filled up
That means you're one mistake from being
from
stunned.
getting stunned and really dying.
Yeah, game's over.
So, what do you do in that situation
You guess. That's the only way.
for Ken?
Yeah, for Ken, you have to guess because he's guessing too. And you can't block, man. You just can't block.
Against a really
I mean, okay,
seriously intense Makoto.
You can block if that's your guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
In this situation, blocking
right. Okay.
is guessing.
But you're guessing one way or the other.
One
and the
way or
block
the other.
is just
It's either
one guess.
blocking is one way of guessing. Sure, you can another way of guessing. Whatever,
Right.
blah, 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 is a guess. Anything you do is a guess. You have to guess. There is no correct... What I have to say is there is no correct method of getting out of it. What
Yeah.
he's going to do when you have half stun bar.
It's just guessing.
It's guessing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to wrap it up, SBO is next weekend. We're trying to, raise a couple of bucks. So if you can donate, even like $5, $2, $1 would totally help. You can send your donations to donations@denjin-video.com through PayPal. Or you can go to the website denjin-video.com/blog and you can donate through PayPal there, and you can see, how far we've gotten in terms of donations, because we need to raise the money for the plane tickets, because at least for the West Coast, only half of the ticket is covered by Family Fun. So just to wrap it up, what would you say to a player? I mean, how can you as a Third Strike player level up without a strong community in your area?
You really just have to play a lot.
But can you play on like GGPO?
No, it doesn't count.
You have to-
I will have to say that any victories that anyone's ever beaten me on GGPO did not count.
It's true.
Is so garbage, man. Like, it just doesn't count. No,
Okay.
you can't play on GGPO. It doesn't count. It's not real Third Strike.
What can you watch videos?
And definitely watch videos are very, very important. Very important. But don't, don't just, I see a lot of people doing this, when they watch videos, they see something, they're like, oh, that's really nice. Don't just take it. Don't just, take it and do it when you're playing someone. Understand why that was done. It's very important to understand why I used that setup in that situation, or why someone else used that setup in a certain situation. It's
How
not
do you-
the setup, it's when you use the setup that matters.
How do you, let's say, divine that knowledge from just watching a video?
Smoke weed.
Good tip.
If you don't do drugs,
You have to ask somebody. But okay, would you say that when you're high, you see the game differently?
oh God, you see everything. If I smoked weed every single day, I'd probably be unbeatable.
Right. And it's not just when you're playing that you're able to like.
Oh
super
God, the
focus.
game is
It's
so
not just
slow,
that.
right? When you
The game is slow, but you see it different. When you watch a match, when you're playing, you can
see
read the body language.
yeah, definitely.
Not to advocate
Yeah,
things like that.
Not to,
but the reality
promote
is,
it's
it does
true.
help you
It helps
see the
a lot.
game
It helps a
differently.
lot. If you guys know, I'm not. I don't smoke weed ever,
Right.
at all.
Right.
Not anymore. But if you guys really want to get good at Third Strike, just smoke weed one night, get really high with all your friends that play Third Strike, and play Third Strike.
And talk about it.
Sit there, play Third Strike, talk about it, and go watch your fucking favorite video.
And you'll see it differently.
You'll see something. I might not guarantee, you become godlike after this,
Right.
but you'll learn something.
But it is different.
You'll see something.
You'll see it way
definitely.
differently.
You'll see something a lot.
I like it.
And there's something else I want to talk about. When Ryan first met Ryan, I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" He came to a Family Fun tournament where I was running.
I was my first time.
Yeah, World Championships of Third Strike. I think he had long hair back then, right?
I did have long hair.
And I'm like, "Who is Gootecks?" He has a nickname. But
he has a nickname, but nobody knows who he is.
He's a nobody. Like, who is this guy?
I'd never been
Yeah,
before.
and he's like, yeah, I play Third Strike. I'm from the Southern California area, but I've never been to Family Fun. I'm like, and I'm signing this guy up, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I turn around, I'm like, this guy just never played Third Strike in his life. Never been to Family Fun Arcade from the SoCal area, and he plays Third Strike. What? You play the Dreamcast? You play computer on Dreamcast, right? Oh God. And
Well, I was new. I
think you went 2-0 that tournament.
Oh, I definitely went 2-0. Without a doubt, I went
God.
2-0. I mean, I was a total noob. I only went because Simon from Nebraska.
Well, it's changed. It's changed your life that you went that day. Then
It changed my life because there's no way that I would be sitting here talking to one of the best players in the country about Third Strike had I not put myself in a situation where I was around high-level Third Strike regularly.
When did you start actually going like
Regularly?
Regularly, because I don't think you went
I don't
regularly
know.
right away. I think
No,
it took
I
you a
didn't.
while.
I mean, I spent a lot of time in the back, but what it was when I got to Family, I don't know if somebody had introduced me to you, but I was like really, when I met you and I met Matt
Yeah,
Chin.
I remember it was me and Matt, because Matt was helping me run the tournament.
Right.
So I think he brought you
I think
over to me.
Yeah, he introduced
and to
me
sign you up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, sure,
Yeah, I was just, what it was if you haven't been to Family Fun, it's kind of like, it's like going to, I don't know, like going to Graceland if you're an Elvis fan. That's kind of what it's like. Because when you walk in, especially nowadays, I mean, it's like you're taken back in time. And I felt like, wow, I'd never been in a place with so many Third Strike machines and so many Third Strike players. And it was like, I mean, it sounds silly. I mean, it's still just, Street Fighter. But it was like, it was like an awakening. I was like, wow, like this is where I need to be, obviously, to get better. I think I started going. I think I would go like once a month or something. But then it was only in the past maybe like 3 years that I would start to go like every weekend because
that's when you started getting really good, though.
Right. Yeah, and really, I mean, it's only been like not that long. Not that long.
Yeah, that was pretty funny though. I just remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just some guy.
Yeah, that I'm like, okay, well, like I was doing the brackets that day, and I'm like, God, he's a nice.
Where's this guy gonna go?
No. I was more like, dude, he's a really nice guy. Can't just give him KO in the first round, because someone's got to take that spot.
Yeah, no, I had Henry Sen from New York.
That's not bad. I gave you a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, I even won the first round. And that dude, 720, he was like, I distinctly
Did you play
remember.
him?
I didn't play him. I might have played him, but I distinctly remember that he was like
Royce.
cheering me on.
Love Royce. We miss him.
Yeah. But I guess that just goes to show that, you really have to put yourself in a situation with the best players that you possibly can. And I mean, it sucks, but like, if you don't live in that kind of area, I mean, honestly, aside from smoking weed, you kind of have to move.
I mean, if you're the only one in that area playing Third Strike,
dude, even if
I guess you're not
the
going
only one.
anywhere, bro. Like, you're just not going anywhere.
I mean, I guess you have to. I mean, ultimately, it's kind of like you can't. If you wanted to make it as an actor, you would move to Hollywood, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna, you can't just shoot basketballs all day.
Yeah,
you gotta play with some people.
You gotta play the best.
You have to play.
You gotta play the best. And would you say also that not just like finding a mentor, but like I would say that the reason that I've been able to get better is because I've made friends with the top players.
Yeah, it's very important to.
Would you say that like even if you win and you beat like let's say a string of top players, but if you don't have friends and you don't have the respect, it like doesn't do you any good.
You're still a scrub.
You're still a scrub
because anyone can win a game. You just got lucky.
Right.
That's all it comes down to.
The planets align. You make it to grand finals. It kind of doesn't even matter.
I wouldn't say making it to grand finals. You got to beat a lot of people to make it to grand finals. But I mean, like, yeah, you really do have to earn the respect of the players. I mean, because sometimes someone might not have my respect, but they've beat me enough. They really show me that, that I'll give them the respect. But
right.
Until that happens, just because you beat me, I'm not going to give you the respect, Like, just because you beat me, like, twice in casuals and you whisper to your buddy, I got him now.
Right,
I'm
doesn't
sorry,
matter.
dude. It doesn't
Doesn't
shit,
matter.
dude. You're nothing.
So
you
I
know?
mean, you have to. I mean, it's kind of like. I mean, you just have to make friends, right?
Yeah.
You have to make friends.
I mean, we are actually a community. You know, like at family, we're all friends. We all talk to each other. You know?
Right.
We talk about more than just Third Strike. Actually, most of the time.
Right, and that's the position that you need to be in order
Exactly.
to level up. Because I mean, I feel like when I was the new guy, you know, I really had to make the effort.
You have to
be
make
friends
the
with
effort.
everybody, like individually.
You can't expect people to.
Not at all.
You can't
even
expect,
if you're winning.
Yeah, you can't expect top players to be like, "Yo, man, let's be friends." You know, like
Right?
get the fuck
No,
outta
it's
here, you know?
like not like that at
And
all.
this is something that I want to conclude with this about building a community. It's very important to be very inclusive. That's what we have always been like at Family Fun Arcade.
Right.
We've been very like selective in who we allow into our groups. We're not trying to say, you know, fuck you, fuck off, you know, but like
Right.
we were very selective about who we allow into this group.
Because we had to do that when we were
Yeah.
not very good.
You know, it's actually funny because me and Pyro talk about this because we're kind of like the leaders of the Family Fun
Yeah,
group.
definitely.
Us two. Like we always say to each other, "Yeah, he's cool. We'll allow him into our group."
Yeah,
And
you know
like,
what? It's
a lot of times me and Pyro actually have disagreements. He'll be like, "No, not this guy." I'm like, "No, he's okay." You know, like, see, like everything actually kind of runs through us, you know. And like, what I'm trying to say is, you guys if you want to build a community, be very exclusive. Don't
exclusive or inclusive.
God, what's the word? Like, be very like selective. Don't let.
Oh, okay, because you said inclusive at first.
Okay,
so it's not inclusive.
Yeah, be very
It's-
selective. Yeah, exclusive or something. Whatever. Yeah, don't allow anyone into the group. You want to make people work for it, is what I'm trying to say. See, if some scrub and he wanted to be part of the FFA group, and we're just like, yeah, come on, buddy, open arms, come on in.
Right, it's not like
He's
that.
just gonna scrub his ass out every single time we play.
Right.
The reason why, I have no offense to any players who don't get invited to play team battles at Family Fun Arcade. You're just not on that level yet, you know, like,
Right.
And we all want to play at that level where, you know, every single night we're playing great matches where everyone at Family Fun that plays Star Trek is watching,
Right.
Because we're the best players, and you know, you want to be there. You have to work
to pay
for
your
it.
dues.
You know, yeah, exactly. You can't just expect to be welcomed in with
Because when
open arms.
when you were new, I mean, Frank was already established.
Frank was the man.
Frank was the man.
Yeah, he was the man.
So you had to play that game, but it helped because, you know, you had to work for it. So because you had to do it that way, so should everybody else.
So should everybody else. You do not get into my group by slacking your ass off and coming in. I worked my ass off for it. You
Right.
should work for it too. There is no way in hell you get into my group without working for it.
Right. And that's the way that it should be
Definitely.
everywhere.
That's
Because, I
way-
mean, like for example, when Pyro was coming up and Valle, Watson, and those guys.
Oh, they treated him like shit.
Right,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you know they were the ones that were established, and that's kind of one of the things that you earn
You gotta
as
earn
you
it,
as you
definitely.
level
That's
up.
why I'm saying you got to be very exclusive in who you allow into the group. If you're not good enough,
and
you
you're
can't be in it.
so if you're not in the group, you really have to put the time in.
You have to make
you
that
have
effort.
to you have to be humble.
Yeah, you definitely have to be humble. Don't walk around.
Yeah,
thinking
it
you're the
was
fucking shit.
honestly.
dude.
I think it was like a year and a half or like 2 years before I ever said anything like to anybody that was like kind of messed up.
It's- Yeah,
you know what I mean?
see,
Because I would always
that's
feel like,
good.
yeah, like you do. You're like totally right. Like I totally got beat. Like I don't know anything. You are like, you're the one in charge. Like you call the shots, and that's the type of attitude I think that you have to have when you're trying to level up in any community, whether it's
you have
Third
to be
Strike or
humble.
not.
That's very important. You can't be an asswipe. You don't want any top player to think you're a fucking idiot.
Right. You want
Because like we might come off pretty cocky and arrogant and with our head up in the air, but I think we've earned our
You
right
earned
to
that.
do that.
Earned that.
I didn't walk into Family Fun Arcade with my
Right.
head up.
No,
I'm
of
thinking I
course.
fucking own your ass.
yeah,
You can't
of course.
do that.
And so the guys that have that mentality, they never get anywhere.
they don't go anywhere.
Or, I mean, you could even say that even other top players that have that mentality kind of like miss out on a lot of stuff, Like, if you're really good, but you don't you're still not really that, part of the community,
Yeah, you miss out on a lot, dude.
You
You
miss
don't
out
get
on
to
a
do.
lot.
You don't get to do anything.
You-
there's
you
a lot
stay
of
at that
players.
level.
I mean, just like look at Adolfo and
Adolfo, J.R. Rodriguez.
those guys. They don't want to get involved with the
No, they
community.
don't.
They miss out on a lot of things.
They
you know?
do. And they're really good players, but I mean, J.R. Rodriguez has been owning people. Like, the first time I saw that guy, I walked into Evo in Cal Poly, and he had like 30 wins.
On Scrubs.
I mean, dude, JR is a beast, like, hands down.
Yeah,
But I think that JR has been at his level
for a long
for
time.
forever. And I think that a lot of that is because, he doesn't.
No, I think he refuses to accept that he needs to get better. That's his problem. He believes too much in himself right now. He doesn't feel like he needs to up his game,
Right.
develop new things.
But the reality is that we all learn from each other.
Yeah, we all get better off of that.
From
We feed off of
talking,
that.
yeah, from talking about it, from playing, from doing these team battles, from playing in tournaments, and from putting in the time.
Definitely.
So just to wrap it up, I mean, that's the bottom line. To level up in Third Strike, you have to put in the time. You have to make friends with the top players in your area, wherever they are, or you have to move.
Or you need to smoke weed.
Or you need to smoke weed. So, best of luck to you next week.
Thank
I
you.
hope your team does really well. Hopefully we'll get to see you in Japan. And if anybody, found this podcast useful, please, please, please send a couple of bucks
please. I mean,
our way.
This is not even about, like us wanting money, it
just to
shows
get
a
to
lot of
Japan.
support. It shows a lot of support when people donate.
Right.
I actually get mad at when people put up SBO DVD videos on YouTube because I actually bought the actual
Right.
copy. I feel like,
You have to support
we play
your
this
community.
game. This is not a big, money corporation game. I think it's very
Sure
important to us for support the people
Support
that
each
put
other.
out these DVDs. They put out a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
It
for
takes
the
a lot of
person that
work.
put that shit out, I'm gonna fucking kill you if I saw you.
All right, well,
You can never be my friend in Third Strike. I'll never give you advice.
well, Yi, thank you very much. Good luck
No
next
problem.
week.
Thank you.